welcome to the Webcast for Thursday, May 14th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. We have another round of May gray in most of the coastal areas this morning, but it is a noticeably less expansive cloud deck this morning, with even cloud-free skies across parts of the central coast. Where we do have the marine clouds, we will again see steady clearing today, but it will again take a while across parts of the south coast. Across the interior, sunny skies prevail this morning, and that will remain the case through the day. Overnight recoveries last night were quite good across most of the region, even in the mid and higher terrain. Here are the maximum RH values since midnight, with only the usual drier desert areas seeing much in the way of recoveries under 40%. Today is looking pretty much like a repeat of yesterday as seasonable and uneventful May weather continues. Temperatures will remain near to a few degrees above average, with 70s and low 80s in the Southern California valleys, 80s to low 90s in the San Joaquin Valley and high desert, and 60s to low 70s in the lower mountains. Minimum humidity will be mainly between 15 and 30% above and inland from the marine influence, and westerly winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts to 40 miles per hour will continue to surface mainly just across the interior mountain ridges and desert passes of Southern California. Friday will see a few degrees of warming mainly just across the interior, and humidity will start to trend lower. And those breezy west to northwest winds will start to trend more widespread as a fairly significant wind event begins to take aim at California. As we head into this weekend, there is now strong model agreement that a deep and slow-moving inside slider troughing pattern will develop across the interior west. Temperature-wise, we will see some cooling, with valley highs this weekend falling into the upper 70s and 80s, still right around normal for this time of year. However, the greater impact will be both significant drying and an increase in winds across the interior. While a marine influence will likely remain present, especially for the south coast, minimum humidity will fall into the upper single digits and teens inland from the marine influence from Friday through this weekend, considerably drier than where we've been today and yesterday. In addition, as that inland troughing pattern develops, a lengthy period of gusty north to northwest winds is now looking likely from Friday evening through much of this weekend. The greatest concerns will be from the interior central coast down to Santa Barbara County, the LA and Ventura County mountains and north wind-prone passes, and up to the Mojave slopes. In those areas, periods of north to northwest winds of at least 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts to 50 miles per hour appear likely, which will likely include significant overlap with areas of low RH conditions. And there may be areas of higher winds as well, with the high-resolution model shown here indicating potential for localized gusts over 60 miles per hour. So this is definitely a wind event to pay close attention to. By early next week, a gradual warming trend is likely as high pressure builds back in behind the departing inside slider. We should expect continued dry conditions, but winds should trend towards being lighter overall. However, there may be some lingering north or even northeast flow into Monday, which will continue to reinforce the very dry air mass in place. Here's a look at the forecast highs by Tuesday, with upper 80s and 90s returning to the valleys. This warmth will linger at least through mid-next week, though there are growing indications for a substantial cool down and maybe even some showery weather by later next week or the following weekend. Dead fuel moistures will generally remain on steady or falling trends in the coming days, with some relief west of the coastal slopes due to the marine layer. Still, most dead and live fuel moistures across the low and mid elevations are trending below normal for this time of year. Shown here is our current ERC trend for South Ops as a whole, and you can see in the green forecast trace that we expect to trend well above normal in the days ahead. So while we're not in critical territory on ERC or any of our dead or live fuel moisture metrics, in many cases our background fire danger is looking more like what you'd expect in mid-June versus mid-May, and we are definitely starting to see more receptivity to fire across broader swaths of the landscape. Along those lines, there will remain a daily risk for new large fires through mid-next week due to areas of warm, dry, and breezy conditions away from the marine influence. Moderate initial attack activity is likely on most days. The greatest concerns will likely be from Friday through Sunday due to the drier and windier conditions across the interior, with large fire potential likely becoming elevated on those days. Rapid rates of spread and long-range spotting will become increasing concerns on any well-aligned starts. Fire potential remains mainly concentrated in the cured lower elevation grasses, though heavier dead fuels and low to mid-elevation brush could start to show increased receptivity as well, especially under windy conditions. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. Next one will be on Friday, May 15th.